Hello, America. Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. Boy, I have a few things to say, a few things that we have missed, some audio and video that you need to see. We're going to start with the truth on what is happening with Hamas. Hamas in just a second. First, our sponsor this half hour is Patriot Mobile. Sadly, our economy has become dominated with businesses that cater to the woke mob. I love that. Yeah, I mean, sure, I just want a pair of, sneakers, but I'd rather buy the sneakers, from a company that's telling me that I'm bad, I'm evil, and they don't want anything to do with me. I can't wait to write my check or give them my credit card. Why do business with people like that, especially when you can get better service? You can not have the empowerment of the woke mob with your dollars through that company, and you can save money. That's what it is with Patriot Mobile. For the past 10 years, they've offered nationwide coverage with access to all the three major networks because they're on the same cell towers, equipping you with the same coverage that you've always had, but without sending your money to leftist causes. If you like freedom of speech, religious freedom, life, Second Amendment, if you don't want to kill all the Jews, crazy things like that, maybe you should switch to Patriot Mobile. Send a loud and clear message. Do you hear me now? PatriotMobile.com/Beck 972 Patriot 972 Patriot or PatriotMobile.com/Beck. Switch today. All right, let's see. Well, who doesn't love a parade? I mean, sure, I used to watch the Macy's Day Parade with my kids. Loved to gather around, watch the Macy's Day Parade until all the women were suddenly men with bulges in their tights, and you're like, hey, let's go make some more cinnamon rolls, kids. But parades are just so great. They're a little different around the world. Macy's Day Parade, the women have junk. And in Iran, it includes chance of death to America. Watch. We've come here to tell the elder of Jumran, Israel will be erased from the face of the earth. Death to Israel. Death to Israel. The official Zionist regime makes a mistake. The Islamic Republic will raise Tel Aviv and Haifa to the ground. Yay! Death to Israel! Death to America! I love those parades. Did you see the big one with the giant cleric that had a suicide vest? It was a great balloon. It blows up in the end. But blood in the streets. Oh, what a way. So here in America, we just throw candy, Anyway, so we had that happening this week. Now, a lot of people will say, yeah, well, that's because Israel is, so full of Jews. And we can't have that. So, I'm sorry. It's so full of people who are oppressing us. Even though we get our electricity, we get most of our hospital supplies, we get most of our food delivered from Israel right to us because we're poor, we can't afford it because, our government's spending all the money on bombs and stuff to kill innocent people. But anyway, this is definitely not about killing Jews or anything. We just want a two-state solution. Well, cut to.
نداء إلى مقاومتنا، إلى ضفتنا، إلى أهلنا، إلى مقاومتنا في الخارج، إلى حلفائنا الاستراتيجيين، إلى كل أبناء هذه الأمة. اليوم هو يومكم. نحن مع موعد مع النصر. لنكون شركاء في صناعة هذا النصر العظيم إن شاء الله تعالى.
إن شاء الله.
في الختام، هذا العدو الذي يهدد ويعربد نقول له: لا تهديداتك ولا عربدتك ولا غطرستك نفعتك ولن تنفعك. قول واحد: اخرجوا من أرضنا. اغربوا عن وجوهنا، اخرجوا من قدسنا من أقصانا، لا نريد أن نراكم فوق هذه الأرض. هذه الأرض لنا والقدس لنا.
Who doesn't agree?
والكل لنا.
This land is theirs. Everything is theirs. They don't want to see us anymore. Good thing we can make all the Jews invisible. So they can still be there, but nobody will see them because the Muslim population seems to not like seeing them around. But remember, this is just because we want a two-state solution. In fact, listen to all of the Hamas politicians, the leaders of Hamas, and how much they say this is all about a two-state solution. This has nothing to do with Jews. Listen.
اللهم عليك بيهود شل أركانهم ودمر كيانهم.
Destroy the Jews. Oh Allah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Day of your slaughter. Not a single Jew left. Yeah.
أننا سنبيدكم على بكرة أبيكم ولن نبقي منكم أحدا.
اقتلوهم حيث ثقفتموهم.
Kill them wherever you may find them. We'll fight them wherever we can.
التي يتبر فيها
Will come when
ويباد فيها
their sons will be annihilated. Destroy the Jews and their supporters. Destroy the Americans and their supporters. Oh Allah. One by one, kill them all. I love a God who does that, you know. Yeah, that's great. That's great. We edited out the part of the two-state solution. You know, they were like, we really want a two-state solution, and then they went into the killing of the Jews thing. So it's an either-or proposition. Either we get a two-state solution, which we really, really super want, or we'll just annihilate and kill all the Jews on the planet. So I don't know. I've been having a hard time with people who are kind of fuzzy on what this is really all about. Because to me, it seems kind of clear. Now, they did, once they had, as the Hamas leader said earlier this week, they called for ceasefire immediately because they had, quote, accomplished their mission. Now, let me ask you, they didn't gain any real ground. They didn't kill a lot of military people. They did kill about 1,000 women and children and raped a lot of people, cut off their heads, dragged their naked bodies in the street, burned women and children to death. They did a lot of that. I'm wondering what their mission was, because it seems like that was their mission, because they didn't really accomplish anything else. Maybe, you know what? Maybe their mission was, hey, one of you guys, go get some flaming hot Doritos at the 7-Eleven or whatever they have there, because we don't have any. So get a big party bag and bring it back. And that was the mission. And suddenly it just all went wrong, and they raping and pillaging. And then they were like, weren't we supposed to get Doritos? Yeah. Well, they got their bag of Doritos, I guess. So it's mission accomplished for them. So here's my thing for anybody who is a little unclear on this. May I ask you, assuming the Dorito thing is not their mission, but it leaned more in the let's rape and pillage and do as much damage we can to people just in their houses, you know, farmers. If that is happening because of your oppression, let's just say Israel, oh, horrible oppressors. They're just like crazy, crazy oppressors. How many years does it, because I just want a number. Is it 2 years of oppression? Is it 12 years, 100 years? Is it 2 months? I don't know. But I'd like an answer from those who are, you know, sticking up for the Palestinian organizations here, like Hamas. I'd like to know a number, because I don't know when it's okay to rape and pillage and kill children and burn women to death. And if it's 2 years, okay, I'd like to know that. And I think BLM should also kind of track down that answer, because BLM is also saying this is only happening. Sure. Now they've gone back a little bit, taken back just a little bit of, hey, we're for the hang gliders coming in and just raping people. Now they're just saying, well, I mean, we're for it, but we don't want to say it out loud. But what we do want to say now is because of the oppression. Okay, so I just want to make sure, and please, if you're from BLM, wow, I am really sorry I didn't give you any of my money. Now that I know that you're giving some money to Palestinian Hamas. And anyway, it's probably just me. Darn, I missed that chance. I'd just like to know from you, because apparently if you're oppressed, it's okay to rape and pillage, but that's only today. I can rape and pillage people that, had nothing to do with stuff that happened 200 years ago, okay? Because I was oppressed. Well, not me. I was a slave owner in another life. But if people were oppressed 200 years ago, it is their right to now go into the streets, burn cities to the ground, and apparently, as long as it's happening today and they're Jews, you can kill them in their beds, and kill the kids in their cribs. I just want to know, again, the time period, because if you're doing the raping and pillaging, how long do the Jews have to wait before they can rape and pillage and kill your kids in the cribs? Honest question. I'm just seeking answers here. I don't want to judge. I certainly don't want to judge. Okay, let's see. I'm going to change the subject, because that one was so complex. I mean, my head hurts. Who's right? Who's wrong? When can you kill children? When can you not? And I mean, not like in war where it's collateral damage. I mean, when is it okay just to go in and cold-bloodedly kill children? I mean, and I know the left, again, this will make your head hurt. The left thinks it's okay. They spell room wrong. Go into the child's room and kill them. That's okay. And they've been fine with it for a long time when they misspell room and spell it W-O-M-B, womb. So I guess maybe it's okay to kill children whenever you want. I don't know. But let's change the subject. Coming back to the economy and the Republican Party. Well, let's say this. Republicans don't ever really disappoint, now do they? American made. There is a reason why that term has always carried a lot of weight with consumers. When you know something was made in America, it really meant made in America, everything from the ground up. And you knew you were getting quality, a product that had true merit, made by people in this country for a fair wage. Yeah, we got rid of slavery. Isn't that weird? So many people will just, go right back to buying their phones and everything else from companies that are involved in modern day slavery. But we should ask BLM about that. When does the current slavery become wrong for you? Anyway, American Giant is still making stuff at home, and every stitch of thread, every metal rivet, every drop of ink is made and assembled here. But you're not just buying clothing. You're investing in the process that helps save our country. We need to get back to the independent spirit of American manufacturing, and American Giant is doing their part. The cotton, the milling, the cutting, the sewing, 100% done here in America. And that comes with American quality. And it also comes with stronger communities and people who have self-respect, because work does give you self-respect, work that you can be proud of. Buy American today at american-giant.com/Glenn. That's american-giant.com/Glenn. Now, I don't know about you, but Here's Joe Biden talking about the economy and why some of you whiners feel like it's not going so well. Listen. We have that one. Biden blames media. Probably didn't mark that one, did I? Okay, well, we don't have it. So let me just tell you. He's blaming the media and saying that they're making us feel bad about the economy. No, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's the price of milk and meat and cheese and pretty much everything else, including flaming hot Doritos, which are prices so high you practically have to go in and murder children to get a bag of Doritos like that. At least in some countries, I hear. I don't think Biden is right about that. I don't think it's the media. I think it's reality. Something he hasn't seen for a while. But I want to give him a break because, quite honestly, he has been trying to figure out how to get Americans out of the Middle East. How to get, there's an airport, there's planes, and there's a whole buttload of Americans that want to get onto a plane and fly from that airport to another airport. It's very complex. It's rarely done. And the thing is, yes, Hungary did it. Poland did it. I think the Congo has done it. I found out earlier today, Mexico, which who knew they had a Mexican Air Force, their Air Force got the Mexicans out of Jerusalem. But we're still trying to figure out how to do it. On Saturday, the White House said they're going to begin the planning of the way to get those people out. Now, I always thought it was, hello, Pentagon, it's me, the president. Get the gray airplanes and fly over to Jerusalem and pick up the Americans and fly them back home. But apparently it's much more complex. I don't know. I don't know how complex it is because I don't speak Spanish. I don't even speak Mexican. And so I would like to interview a Mexican Air Force officer. How did they do it? But I can't. But we always have the Republicans to look forward to. The Republicans are doing such a bang-up job. Of course, they nominated Steve Scalise. I don't have anything against Steve. I like him personally. I think he's gone through hell and back. He's currently fighting cancer. That's usually the time that I go, you know what, Steve, take the time, get well. Let's not put you into one of the most treacherous jobs around. But apparently that's what we do. We look for politicians who are either brain dead, brain damaged, really, really old on death's bed. We look for those people. So we're like, we need a House Speaker who's got a crippling disease. Oh, Steve, come on in. But the Republicans couldn't get their crap together after getting rid of McCarthy, who, I'm no fan of McCarthy, but I'd like a plan, I kind of like, and this is crazy, I kind of like a government that says, we want to get out of Afghanistan, and then plans for it. Instead of a government that says, we want to get out of Afghanistan right now. Do it. That one tends to lead to some chaos, and that's what the Republicans have done with McCarthy. I want to get out of McCarthy. Do it. With no plan. So the good news is, well, first, here's Steve speaking after the nomination.
First, I want to thank my House Republican colleagues for just designating me as the Speaker. Obviously, we still have work to do. We're going to have to go upstairs on the House floor and resolve this and then get the House opened again. We have a lot of work to do, not just in the House for the people of this country, but we see how dangerous of a world it is and how things can change so quickly.
Yeah.
We need to make sure we're sending a message to people all throughout the world that the House is open and doing the people's business.
And then the very next day, he said this.
I just shared with my colleagues that I'm withdrawing my name as a candidate for the Speaker designee. If you look at over the last few weeks, if you look at where our conference is, there's still work to be done.
No.
Our conference still has to come together.
No.
And is not there. There are still some people that have their own agendas. And I was very clear. We have to have everybody put their agendas on the side and focus on what this country needs. This country is counting on us to come back together.
Yeah.
This House of Representatives needs a speaker, and we need...
You know, this country is wanting the House to come together, but with an agenda. So we shouldn't all put our agendas aside. We should agree on an agenda, like let's save the country. Let's stop spending all of the money. Hey, let's figure out how to get some gray airplanes that I think we have all the way over to Israel. Can it be done? We should agree on some agenda items, okay? And then come together around those agenda items. But no, some people have their own agenda, like, I think things are going great. I think things are perfect. Spending, what? We've got to get in there and give more money to Ukraine because they're so great. By the way, did you see that when the president of Ukraine and his wife were over here in Manhattan just recently, he was talking to the UN and he was like, we need more money. His wife went in to the beautiful, beautiful boutique called Cartier. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but apparently Cartier makes some nice, shiny things. And she went in and she spent, at the end of the day, $1.3 million on some of these shiny things that she could wear. And I thought, wow, I miss Imelda Marcos. Don't you? I mean, gosh, wait a minute. The last time when they went to Paris, she spent a buttload of money on other stuff for herself. Wow, they're awfully rich. I wonder if they wouldn't mind giving some of their money instead of to Cartier, give it to their own people. Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, so Scalise is withdrawn, and now we hear today that we might just be lucky enough to get some very, very moderate Republicans to work with the Democrats and come up with a consensus candidate, somebody that can work with the communists and the socialists and the radical Islamists, you know? Who can bring a rainbow or sunshine? I don't remember that song that Sammy Davis Jr. used to sing, but he was Jewish, so I won't bring it up anymore. Anyway, one last thing, and this is just for you to decide. 19 seconds into this interview, some people say, I'm sorry, it's a conspiracy theory, but some people say 19 seconds into this interview, AOC farted. I'm leaving it here. I report, but you decide.
But it also means that the United States has a responsibility to ensure accountability to human rights, to prevent the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians, and to ensure that horrors do not happen in the names of victims who do not want their tragedy used to justify further violence and injustice.
Some people say it was just the, interviewer going, But others, and we don't know, say she just let one rip. Controversial, I know, but that's why I'm here, for you. Good night.